Excellent. All right, well, welcome everyone to the fourth and final installment of the Sault Ste. Marie and Garden River First Nation Energy Literacy webinar series. Before we begin, I would just like to acknowledge with respect, though we are gathered virtually, that I'm speaking to you today from Robinson Huron Treaty Territory, the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, home of Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the Métis Nation of Ontario. I also acknowledge that this area is historically known as Boating. The City of Sault Ste. Marie recognizes the importance of our relationship with the Indigenous community as we move forward in the spirit of reconciliation. Now, I believe we can begin in a good way. So I'm just going to share my screen here, and I'll ask the panelists if they can give me a thumbs up when they see my screen. Okay, excellent. I'm just going to put it onto full screen here. There we go. Okay. So I'm thrilled today to bring you all together for our commercial energy efficiency incentives webinar. Today, before we begin, I'd just like to introduce you to our panelists. I'm joined and who is co-hosting this event by Christy Sayers and Tia Jones from Garden River First Nation. And today you'll be hearing from Mary Sy from Enbridge to speak about their commercial energy incentive programs, as well as Nicole from the IESO to speak about their commercial incentive programs. We'll have a final closing piece where we talk about any questions that anyone has, and we'll wrap up with closing remarks at around 11. If you have any questions, please put them into the chat. This is a webinar, so everyone is muted, and we hope that you really enjoy what we have to share with you today. I'm going to start our presentation off with a bit of an overview of what we're doing at the City of Sault Ste. Marie as it pertains to energy, specifically our greenhouse gas reduction plan, which has as a priority energy efficiency. So the City of Sault Ste. Marie unanimously approved their very first community, hi Tia, their very first community greenhouse gas reduction plan in 2020. And this plan is broken down into 7 sectors, predominantly based on emission sources and reduction action opportunities. Specifically, it looks at actions in the buildings and energy space, both on the community front and corporate, so municipal assets. It also looks at transportation emission reduction opportunities and waste, and looks to opportunities in our natural environment in the green space area, as well as economic development and municipal leadership. Our goal for GHG emission reduction is net zero by 2050, and we're taking a staged approach to achieve this goal with a focused target of 10% corporate and 5% community between now and 2030, with an increasing scale of reduction between 2030 and 2050. This is a living document, so we will be looking at it and hopefully revising it a few times over that period of time. In addition to the 7 pillars in our plan, we also have some guiding principles that are infiltrated throughout. The plan speaks to affordability. So by reducing your energy costs, you have more economical housing, accountability. By creating a sustainable development, we're creating a more sustainable future for the next generations. There's also a core piece related to education and awareness, which events like this literacy series speak so well to. There's also a component of community pride. So by diversifying our sustainability options, we're improving our community well-being. And as I mentioned earlier, an economic development piece. There is indeed a business case to be made when it comes to being more energy efficient and also more sustainable. It speaks to environmental and habitat protection, protecting our species at risks and our forest from climate impacts, and also looking at reducing health risks associated to climate change, such as asthma and Lyme disease, and food security. By producing more food locally close to home, we're reducing the emissions that our food has to travel to our communities. Some of the preliminary plan priorities include really working on climate change capacity. We have created an environmental sustainability committee, which has been meeting over the course of this year. They will act as the overseeing body of the implementation of our greenhouse gas reduction plan. We've also created a climate information webpage on the city's website, full of tools and information that homeowners and businesses can refer to when it comes to energy efficiency grants, as well as other grants out across the country. We're looking at really finessing our budgeting and funding requirements over the years, and also undertaking a youth initiative that focuses on environmental sustainability, and really trying to work on our governance and leadership. So ensuring city policies and programs align with the support and implementation of the plan, specifically looking at the possibility of developing a climate change lens policy to apply to projects within corporate operations. On the GHG emissions reduction side, we're really prioritizing energy efficiency retrofits, as well as zero emission fleet opportunities. We've summarized municipal projects and actions by city department, and we're looking to increase tree planting and possibly conducting an urban tree canopy study to understand the carbon offset potential from our urban forests. We're also in the early stages of looking at funding for a community retrofit program and streamlining our energy reporting to the province. From a priority standpoint, I'm pleased to announce that we do plan to go half electric with our city buses by 2026. And next year we'll be purchasing our very first electric bus charger and doing the infrastructure work. From a central administration standpoint, we have solar panels planned to install at our bus depot in 2023, and a series of community retrofits at city assets and municipal centers, looking at LED as well as heat recovery projects. From a waste perspective, changes have made to purchasing packages to reduce single-use packaging material, and our biosolids management facility will be expanding to incorporate single source, municipal source separated organics as required by the province in 2025. We also have a plastic-free pledge that we're promoting and encouraging businesses and residents to participate in, and we've also recently approved to go to RFP for an active transportation master plan, another big pillar in our emissions reduction strategy. And lastly, our economic development team is also working at attracting more renewable energy companies to Sault Ste. Marie. Now, I know that was a lot of information to go through, but I do encourage anyone who's interested to please visit the City of Sault Ste. Marie's website and check out the GHG reduction tab for more information on our greenhouse gas reduction plan. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and I will pass this over to Christy. Christy, I'm going to make you a host, and you should be able to share your screen now.
Are you guys able to see that?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so we're going to present the Garden River Indigenous Community Energy Plan. The Garden River was one of the communities to complete and submit a successful energy plan back in 2017. By developing the energy plan, it created the needs assessment that Garden River required in order to fill in the energy gaps. Garden River continues to enhance its current Indigenous community energy plan. For residential programs, we're building capacity starts with community members through several energy workshops and sessions and meetings. One-on-one meetings with the energy advisor who will inform and educate on the following programs: the Ontario Electricity Support Program, the Energy Affordability Program, Home Weatherization, and the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. The capacity is increased to over 100 clients. While this program continues to grow and become more successful in engaging clients on energy saving opportunities, alternate ways to reduce their monthly hydro bill, home renovations, and creating a clean home using home maintenance tips. Garden River Energy Advisor has been working with local businesses, business owners in the community to upgrade lighting under small business lighting programs. The on-site assessment identifies opportunities for lighting upgrades. I'm going to let Tia to read over the next for the business.
So the energy landfill waste management in 2019, Garden River First Nation contracted WSP, a Canadian business providing management and consultant services, to undertake a waste management study on our landfill. Recommendations moving forward were identified as follows: A future transfer station, a temporary waste transfer station created on August 17th of this year, along with community share shed and a recycling center. A capacity development with neighborhooding municipality, city of Sault Ste. Marie, and project development, energy awareness to our community members by creating the energy committee. We also have solar rooftop installation. In 2011, ERCD worked with consulting firm Solar Logics for rooftop solar installations. 10 feasibility studies and business plans were completed. 10 20-year contracts were secured with the Ontario Power Authority, and 10 systems were completed and installed by November in 2013. We also have our energy newsletter. A quarterly newsletter provides information on upcoming and ongoing projects and events, tips and tricks to make your home more energy efficient, and knowledgeable information on what we are doing in our community. And here's just a few links where to find our posts. We have a Facebook page, our newsletter, and our ISEP plan. Oh, you're on mute.
Thank you. My goodness, who would have thought that wouldn't happen anymore, eh? Christy, thank you so much. Tia, thank you as well. Christy, I'm just going to ask if you can make me a host again. You'll have to go and hover above my image, the 3 little dots, and just click those. And I think you can click make host. There we go. Thank you so much. All right, well, thank you. As I was saying when I was on mute, lots of really great projects going on at Garden River. And we're both now in the implementation stage of our energy and emission plans. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. A conversation about energy is a conversation about emissions, and a conversation about emissions is a conversation about energy. This is the 4th and final installment in our energy literacy webinar series, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have Enbridge and the IESO here today to speak to us. So without further ado, I'm pleased to introduce our first panelist today, Mary Tsai. She is the Energy Advisor, Municipal and New Commercial Construction rather, and she's going to speak to us about some of the incentive programs offered for commercial organizations. So I'm just going to share my screen here, and I will be able to move your slides for you, Mary. Can everyone see Mary's slides? Excellent. Okay, go ahead, Mary.
Okay, thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. As Emily said, I'm Mary Tsai with Enbridge Gas, and I'm just going to review some of the programs that we have for commercial projects. Next slide, please. So here's just basically a quick agenda for the call. I'll begin by providing some context for energy conservation by sharing Enbridge's view on sustainability and our background for energy conservation. Next slide, please. So this is kind of a map of where Enbridge is. So here's some fundamental facts and figures about our utility. Back in January 1st, 2019, we amalgamated Enbridge and Union Gas to become one company, which is Enbridge Gas Inc. We're the largest utility in North America for volume and the 3rd largest in number of customers, and we're based in Ontario. We actually heat more than 3/4 of Ontario homes. Each year, we invest more than $1 billion in capital dollars in the province on items like steel for pipelines and system upgrades, and another $1 billion in operations, including on equipment leases, power consumption, and wages. Enbridge Gas is innovating to advance lower carbon natural gas solutions that can provide an immediate and affordable way to achieve meaningful carbon reductions. We are focusing our efforts in 3 areas. Conservation, this applies for the residential, business, and industrial customers. Cleaner technologies, and this is for heat and transportation, such as CNG, which is compressed natural gas, and geothermal, as well as solar. And the 3rd one is green fuels. And this is where we talk about, renewable natural gas or hydrogen, which is also known as power to gas. Next slide, please. So sustainability at Enbridge is really important. We like to take a leadership position with their energy conservation, and that's why we're continually seeking to reduce our own carbon footprint through continually upgrading our facilities and processes. We're strong proponents of partnerships, sound policy, and research aimed at climate solutions and a smooth and balanced energy transition. Next slide, please. So since 1995, we've helped our natural gas utility customers reduce their energy use and emissions impact by a total savings of 27.6 billion cubic meters saved to date. And the pathway to lower carbon economy through GHG reduction goals, we're seeking new and improved pathways to deliver energy safely, responsible, and sustainable. Factoring climate considerations into all aspects of our business decision making and focusing on energy efficiency and emission reductions. This includes the development of our next generation GHG emissions. We're also working to introduce carbon sensitivity analysis into our capital approval process. And again, just to reiterate, we're strong proponents of partnerships, and we're looking at a balanced transition. Next slide, please. So while you may have energy savings concepts, chances are you've seen them applied in similar circumstances elsewhere and can assist in how they are applied by providing advice and guidance. Ultimately, it is our responsibility to assist you in determining what is the best path for your business. We know that in today's market, there are conflicting priorities. Time is a precious commodity. This is why we've made our programs easy to use. And most applications for funding support is only one signature away. Next slide, please. So further to ease on the process, we know you need assurance of for what incentive will work and what does it look like for you. We remove the guesswork by providing you an accurate upfront estimate in order for you to make knowledgeable decisions. Since we don't have any preferred vendors or equipment, we're able to provide an unbiased perspective for what will work best in your situation. Next slide, please. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the commercial offers. Our program is divided to three major categories. Prescriptive, is applied to technologies that don't require any calculations. It's very similar to like a coupon. So if you buy a high efficiency boiler, you get X number of dollars off. And then we have the next one, which is called custom. And here is where some level of calculations are required to verify the savings over the lifespan of the project. The most common example here is a high efficiency or condensing boilers. Finally, we all know there are operational improvements that don't involve significant capital expenditures. This is where our Run It Smart or Run It Right programs come into play. With an established baseline of performance, we can incent proven, demonstrated savings by utilizing specific site analysis of energy consumption. So we have an energy advisor that will walk through everything with you. Next slide, please. So this is really kind of further to what we originally outlined. Our program design team carefully examined the savings on specific equipment. A rebate level is then established, which is designed to ensure there is sufficient uptake of the higher efficient option, yet not too overwhelming where it's not making sense to make a business case. So typically range is between 25 and 45% of the project costs, depending on the measure. Over many years, this is deemed to be the sweet spot for incentive offers, providing enough financial influence to be effective. Next slide, please. This is kind of a quick list of what is being currently offered in the prescriptive. I would suggest you to check our website as well because it does change fairly quick. So, but this kind of gives you an idea. And it's, there's also benefits such as comfort of the building occupants, as well as, let's say, for instance, with the air curtains. You have a comfort level as well as saving energy efficiency. Next slide, please. So here this is the more complicated one. This is a commercial custom retrofit. So this is really where our advisors, we say, earn their stripes. By reviewing and inputting variables, we can arrive at an energy saving for the life of equipment being considered. The completed calculation allows us to provide an incentive which aligns with the expected savings. Once we have the savings calculation complete, all we need is proof of installation. And right now we're looking at invoices as proof of purchase and undergo a review that is whatever proof might be provided. Current consideration is photos of installed equipment and nameplates, but we'll keep it up to you and we'll walk you through all the process. So we're not going to leave you stranded. Next slide, please. So again, this talks about the custom audits and studies, and it just goes through. This is another where it comes to more complex projects, and this really applies to like hospitals where there's a lot of energy being used. You don't always know where to start. So for this reason, we recognize there are times when an energy audit or study is necessary to give you the direction you need. Enbridge is pleased to make this cost of these undertakings more palatable for you by covering up to 50% of the cost. Several benefits can result from these, including identifying problem areas, prioritizing energy improvements, or simply providing justification for undertaking the projects you have in mind. Next slide, please. So again, next slide, please. Sorry. So whatever key message you're looking for, we're here to support you as for the commercial customers. We have knowledge development. We have quarterly newsletters, and this really talks about customers' experiences. There's natural gas technology resources, energy conservation technology case studies and consortiums, networking, service providers, and industrial associations. And we will do site walkthroughs. So one of our energy advisors will go to your place of business and walk through and make some recommendations and then direct you to what path would be the best for you for your incentives. Next slide, please. So here is just a couple of slides that I've tacked on here. And these are just talking about some case studies. And you can see here what the project costs, what the incentive was, the gas savings, and simple payback. So with this makeup air unit replacement, the simple payback is 1.1 year. So it makes business sense to do this one. Next slide, please. And these are all real life examples too. And here's another one here, which is a boiler replacement, went to a high efficiency. You can see again what the incentive was and the payback of 3 years. Next slide, please. And controls. So these, you can see controls are really becoming the next sweet spot. So the incentive on this one here, you're looking at, a little over $11,000. And the cost savings is 39%. And you can see it's $25,000 a year. That's a significant savings. Mind you, the Rogers Center is a large place as well. Next slide, please. This one here, the demand control kitchen ventilation, this is really applies to restaurant, large kitchens. And again, you're looking at a 1.35 return on your investment. And I believe that might be the last slide. One more, please. Oh, sorry. Here's the run it right. And this is the operational. So this kind of just gives you an overview. And again, if you have any retrofits you're looking at, or you want to look at how you can improve your energy efficiency, contact Enbridge. We'll be more than happy to have one of our energy advisors come out to walk through your particular project and make the recommendations. Next slide, please. And again, this is just going through the RunSmart, as I said, in the Run It Right, the optimization and how you can make it a little bit better energy efficiency. So what it does too, it says right here, you can see it provides analysis of energy consumption to help you track progress. So it kind of gives you an overview of what you can save as well. Next slide, please. And that is it. So I believe, Emily, we're leaving our Q&A to the end or in the chat. So I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. But thank you again for this opportunity to review our projects. Thanks.
Thanks, Mary. Yeah, I think in the essence of time, we'll just we'll keep our questions to the end. Very informative, lots of information. And I think what I'll do is I'll get Mary to just put in the chat, the website for the Enbridge incentives for commercial businesses, just so that folks can access that on their own time. So thank you, Mary. All right, so without further ado, I'm pleased to present our second panelist for today, Nicole from the IESO. She is the Supervisor of Business Development. Nicole, I believe you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Emily. And you can hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Can you see the slides?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. So good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. It's very exciting to be here today. I work for the Independent Electricity System Operator, and my team offers support to customers across the province to participate in our energy efficiency incentive programs. Before I dive into the programs themselves, I do want to talk a little bit about the work that we do at the Independent Electricity System Operator. So we operate the power system in real time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, making sure that when consumers need power, it's available. We also plan for Ontario's energy future. We do long-term and short-term power system planning to ensure that there's enough resource to meet capacity. We have an energy market, an electricity market, and we work to ensure that there's competition as well as fairness when we settle the market. A very important part of our work is to work with stakeholders to ensure that the programs that we're introducing or any program changes that we make, they have an opportunity to participate in that process. One area of focus that has become more of an area of focus for our business is around innovation. And this is making sure that new technologies are able to come into our market, but as well as our system. So an example of that would be storage technologies. And then something that everybody is hearing more and more about in the news is cybersecurity. So we take a role in cybersecurity leadership with other ISOs across North America to make sure that the power system is not compromised in Ontario. But I'm here today to talk about energy efficiency. And so I'll take a step back to say that we've had over 15 years of energy efficiency in Ontario, and the results have been very strong. So since 2006, we have saved 17.3 terawatts of electricity as a result of the programs that I'm like what I'm going to talk about today. And this is a real meaningful impact. So this is equivalent to 1.9 million homes per year, to powering 1.9 million homes a year. So that's a lot of electricity saved through these programs. Over 250,000 residential consumers and businesses have participated in the Save on Energy program since 2011. And what does that look like in practice? Well, it's about 80 million energy efficiency upgrades or actions have been taken since 2011. This could be through our coupon program, the Save on Energy coupon programs, the recycling of inefficient appliances, or businesses like yourselves putting in retrofits. One thing that I do want to talk about is the framework that we're in right now. So we have a 4-year framework right now that launched in January 2021. It is delivered by the ISO under the Save on Energy brand, and there's programs for commercial, institutional, and industrial customers with some offering for consumers as well. I'm going to focus today really on the business programs. We also have a income eligible program right now and an on-reserve First Nation programs for on-reserve First Nations. So the business programs that I'm going to talk about today, and I'm going to keep it very high level. The main takeaway, I think, for me today is to say, hey, we're here to help you if you need more information on any of these programs, but also just to kind of give you the lay of the land of what programs are available. So I'm going to talk about the small business program, the retrofit program, the energy performance program, energy manager program, some trainings that we have available, and then a few limited time offers that are taking place right now. So the small business program is available to businesses with under 50 employees. It's a one-stop shop approach, so a turnkey program that is available at no cost to customers. We have a program delivery partner that you would work with that will come in, do an assessment of your facility, and determine if and what upgrades you're eligible for, up to $2,000. One thing that I would say that's exciting about this program is we are currently in the process of expanding this program to include common non-lighting opportunities such as HVAC and refrigeration. And again, similar to the lighting, this would involve our program delivery partner helping you identify which opportunities in HVAC and refrigeration you would be eligible to you, and then how to do those replacements. The retrofit program has also been around for a long time, and it is kind of our flagship energy efficiency program. It's available to commercial, industrial, institutional, multi-residential, and agricultural. So unlike small business, there's no facility size or employee size. Here we offer incentives for replacing like for like energy efficiency opportunities. So Mary talked about this a minute ago. These are prescriptive. This is a prescriptive program. So there's not a lot of calculations or whatnot involved. We know what electricity is going to be saved through each of the measures that are replaced, and so there's no need to do any calculations. We used to have different tracks of the program, but right now there are three tracks to the program. We offer a lighting track, an HVAC track, and a small manufacturing track. And there are a number of measures that are available under this offering or incentives that are available under this offering around lighting controls, HVAC, chilling replacement, and variable speed drives. I would encourage you to go to the saveonenergy.ca website and you can see the full list of energy efficiency upgrades that are available and their associated incentives. We do also have a program delivery partner for this program. So if this is your first time, don't participating in this program or potentially participating in this program, we welcome that. You can call our delivery partner or send an email, and they can help walk you through the application process, identify projects, and then through the post-project activities. There's a number of resources on the retrofit section of the saveonenergy.ca website. We've got testimonials on the site or case studies, FAQs, videos, information about the different technologies. So there's a great wealth of resources that I would encourage you to take a look at if you're interested. Energy performance program. So this is for a bit more of, I would say, a sophisticated energy manager. Basically, we work with an organization at what their baseline consumption is before they do any energy efficiency upgrades. And at the end of a year, and then 2 years, and then 3 years, we go back and look at how much electricity has been saved. And for all of the electricity that's been saved against that baseline, we offer 4 cents per kilowatt hour for each 4 cents per kilowatt hour for those 3 years. There's also a $50 kill.
Oh, Nicole, I think we lost you there for a second. We can't hear you, and you're not sharing your screen anymore.
Can you see me okay?
We can see you and we can hear you now,
Okay, let's try this again.
and you'll
I'm not
just
sure
need
what
to
happened there.
start
Thank
sharing
you.
your screen again.
Okay, my apologies. Not sure what went on there, but
Technology.
yes, joys of technology. Okay, so
You're
can you
good.
see my screen? Okay.
Yep, we're good to go again. You're at the
Okay.
start of your PowerPoint, but I see you're breezing right through it.
Okay. So did I cover EPP okay?
Yeah, I think you were just wrapping up on that one.
Okay, perfect. So the only thing that I would also say about the EPP is that you can get savings on operational, behavioral, and capital savings. So it's really anything that you do relating to energy efficiency work you would get paid on. And we do have members of the team that can help customers through this process. you do need to save 5% of your energy against your original baseline for this to receive the incentive. So the Energy Manager program has been a very successful program in Ontario. Since 2011, we've had over 150 energy managers, and the program is actually coming to an end at the end of next year. So, and it will in 2023 go to a strategic energy management type of program. But next year, and the application window for this is actually open right now and closing on Friday. So if this is something you want to learn more about, let me know. But companies hire an energy manager and they're paid $300 per kilowatt of summer peak reduction for any electricity savings that they do in your facility. We also have a portfolio of programs to help build capability in the marketplace. So to train different organizations, energy managers, or energy people in charge of managing the energy for the company. And they can start from very, this is your first energy, so our dollars and cents workshop, all the way up to certified energy manager. So we pay a portion of these training incentives for the coursework that a company may have their individual undertake. There's also technology specific end user training courses available. So compressed air systems would be an example. Now I want to just quickly talk about a few limited time offers that the ISO that are currently being offered through the Save on Energy portfolio. So we have a energy assessment that's available for businesses with fewer than 500 employees, and this is co-funded through NRCan. Basically, if a company is interested and qualifies, they would get 75% of the cost of an energy assessment, up to $5,000, to undertake this work. And in this case, an assessment is like a light energy audit. So it's basically meant to help companies identify where there are opportunities to increase their energy efficiency. This is first come, first serve offer. So if this is something that you're interested in, please let us know and we can provide you further information. And then the program that Mary just spoke about, which I'm glad that she brought up, we are partnering with Enbridge on the Demand Control Kitchen Ventilation Program. And this is an opportunity to make your kitchen your commercial kitchen more energy efficiency through the replacement and upgrade of your demand control kitchen ventilation. And here, Enbridge is the intake is leading the intake on this, and the information is there if this is something you're interested in. An opportunity or a program that's currently being designed, the design is being finalized and rolled out next year, is the First Nations Community Building Retrofit Program. And this is a new program
Nicole,
targeted at energy efficiency upgrades in band. Include is a virtual energy manager.
Sorry, Nicole, we lost you there. You went quiet for a quick second there.
Am I back?
You're back now. So if you could just maybe start again for the First
Sure.
Nation
Thank you.
community.
I'm not sure what's happening here. Sorry about this, everyone.
That's okay.
So we have a First Nations Community Building Retrofit Program that will be launching early next year, and it's to undertake targeted energy efficiency upgrades in band-owned buildings on reserve. And the program will offer a virtual energy manager who will provide technical assistance and project support at no cost to communities. So this would include things like energy benchmarking, completing an energy assessment, helping you find opportunities through cost savings and energy efficiency upgrade opportunities. Each participating community can receive up to $100,000 in investments for these projects. So I think I will stop there and just say I put my email in the slide as well. If you want to learn more about any of these programs, I'm happy to help guide you through them or connect you with somebody on the ISO team to guide you through the programs. And thank you for your time today. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Nicole. Very, very appreciated. And thank you to Mary as well. So with that, we conclude the presentation portion of today's webinar. I'm going to ask the attendees if they have any questions to please put them into the chat function. If you go to the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little icon that looks like a bubble. And if you can just put your question in there, we'll be sure to ask them. I have a couple of questions myself for Mary as well as Nicole. But what I'll do is I'll ask Christy if you have any questions first that you'd like to ask.
I just actually want to say thank you to the IESO for helping us with majority of our programs. So like through the Indigenous Community Energy Plan, you guys have helped with all the funding for everything. So miigwech.
You're welcome. I'm glad to see you guys participating, and it's great to see all the projects you're doing. And I'm glad you guys are CEC. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
And we just, oh, sorry, Emily.
Go ahead.
And we just were approved for the IESO Indigenous Energy Program for our solar panels at our Ojibwe Park. And we were also approved for the Education and Capacity Building Program on our waste management awareness. So yeah.
It's amazing.
Look out, look at Garden River leading the way. Amazing. Well done. Happy to work with you guys and look forward to collaborating in the future.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start with a question actually for both Mary and Nicole. One thing I just wanted to clarify, I'm pretty sure this is common for the IESO, so the Save on Energy Retrofit Program, for example. But when it comes to Enbridge as well, is it important to reach out to Enbridge before you start a project? So a poem that I often remember is apply before you buy. Is that commonplace for both programs?
Absolutely. And what it is you want to reach out to them first, because you may make a decision, and then once the decision's made, then the incentive doesn't influence your decision. So that's what the problem is. And plus it's always better to have more eyes look at the project. And this way here you get all the information, and then you take your information and you make it what's best for you.
Excellent. Nicole, anything to add to that?
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. So for those listening, if you have an idea, you're thinking about a renovation, apply before you buy. Quick poem, you can't forget it. So a question for Mary, the Run It Right, could you just remind me on that one again? Is that just more of a methodology, or is that a specific program that you offer?
It's a program.
Okay.
So we would have one of our energy advisors go through it. It talks about, it's almost like, when you have something and you buy a new technology and you don't have it commissioned, I have read that you can leave up to 30% of the efficiency on the table by not commissioning it right. So running it right, just making sure that you're optimizing everything that you're doing. You have the technology there, and sometimes it just needs a little bit of tweaks here and there, and you can save significantly.
Perfect. Thank you for that clarification. Again, to the attendees, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm going to move over to Nicole now for some follow-up questions on your presentation. Thank you, Mary. So Nicole, for the small business programs, you had mentioned that they are expanding to non-lighting. When is that happening?
So that is happening imminently. We're just going through some of the internal processes. So I would anticipate that these will be available, in short order, but likely in the new year.
Perfect. And so a follow-up question to that one, can a business who has applied to the small business lighting program apply again for non-lighting program incentives?
I believe that isn't eligible. It's just that is eligible. But I can confirm that and get back to you just to make sure we lead people down the right path. But as long as it hasn't been incented, haven't been incented for the upgrades before, I believe you can apply for the new incentives.
Okay, perfect. And then for the energy performance program, You know, we're talking a lot about technology here, retrofits, so prescriptive and custom. So technological equipment that you can replace in your business that reduces your energy consumption because it runs more efficiently. But on the behavioral side of things for the energy performance program, does the IESO offer any tools or insights on what those behavioral changes could entail?
So we actually do have a set, some people that can help with that. And the real thing to remember here is they'd have to be behavioral savings that persist over the time that you're that you have the contract with us. So if you were able to get people to do a behavior every day consistently, then that would count. But yes, we can provide some support into what that would look like for your
Okay,
specific business. Thank you.
perfect. Great. Thank you. So Christy, and Tia, any questions on your end?
No, I think you guys answered quite a bit of them, which is great.
Yes.
Great. Perfect. And again, as we wrap up here, I'll ask our attendees if you have any questions. This is the last call to put them into the chat. So I'll start up with our wrap up now. Firstly, thank you so much, Mary and Nicole, as well as Christy and Tia, for sharing your stories, as well as, you know, Garden River specifically, what you're doing. It's really impressive and exciting to see. And thank you, Mary and Nicole, for sharing the information about your commercial incentive programs. Businesses are a very strong part of our communities, Sault Ste. Marie and Garden River, and we really want to support them. And energy efficiency is a great way to help lower your operational costs, which I know is very important for your bottom line. It's also a big part of our greenhouse gas reduction plan, and I know it's also a part of Garden River's Indigenous Community Energy Plan as well. So thank you everyone so much for attending. This will conclude the fourth and final webinar in our energy literacy webinar series presented by the City of Sault Ste. Marie and Garden River First Nation. All of the webinars are recorded and they will be on the City of Sault Ste. Marie's website, so you can go and review them at your leisure. A lot of information was shared today, so I will be sending all of the participants the slide decks from both Mary and Nicole so that you can access those and click on the links and review any information. You can also review the recordings as well. And I'd also like to put a plug here that the City of Sault Ste. Marie does have a list that we keep updated on our website of the energy incentive programs available here as well as across Canada. So if you haven't checked out that page, please do so. And we will be concluding our 5 days of energy efficiency campaign here in Sault Ste. Marie. So please keep by the end of the month. So please keep an eye for those in the Sioux on the City of Sault Ste. Marie's social media, where we have been posting information about different energy incentive programs in the province. So thank you again, everyone, for your attendance. Very much appreciated. And we hope we can present more of these webinars in the future. So I'm just going to stop recording now.